It's me, Camila, and this is the Rugged Angel Cast. Now, most of you know, as of Monday, it is officially summer. Yay! And if you are listening on WMCK.FM, you will be treated to some of my favorite summertime jams. You just heard Cruel Summer by Bananarama and the Go-Go's with Vacation, which I am so very much ready for. And if you're not listening on WMCK.FM, why? Why for? Don't you enjoy music and stuff? There are new shows that air on Wednesday at 9 p.m., that show repeats on Thursday at 5 p.m., just in time for your commute home from work, and on Monday at 1 p.m., which is just in time for after lunch when you're coming back to your desk. So you can listen on your computer or your phone because there is an app for that. It's compatible with both Android and Apple. And if you don't care about the music, you just want the straight podcast, straight conversation, you can find me on iTunes and Libsyn under Rugged Angel Productions. Rugged Angel is one word. Make sure to like Rugged Angel Productions on Facebook and follow me on Twitter at @the_Rugged Angel so you are always aware of when the new shows air. This weekend, I am stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing some special guest improving. On Saturday, June 25th, come out to the Arcade Comedy Theater in downtown Pittsburgh for Knights of the Arcade Epic D&D Adventure. Knights of the Arcade is a live Dungeons & Dragons game played on stage by comedians, improvisers, and tried and true geeks. Pittsburgh City Paper has called it a neo-geek wet dream. Pittsburgh Magazine hails it to be the best nerd fantasy come to life. Tickets are just $10 unless you are a student with proper ID. That's just $5. It's BYOB. You can go to Knights of the Arcade Facebook page for more information. Also happening in Pittsburgh, I have mentioned this before, but I think it's worth repeating. Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project is back. Registration is now open. The available spots that we have are dwindling. We're down to like 13 spots to go. So if you are up for the challenge to make a film in 48 hours, we'll give you a line of dialogue, a prop, a character, a genre to make a 4 to 7 minute film on the weekend of July 8th through 10th. You should check it out. Go to 48hourfilm.com to find your city if you're not in Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh, it's definitely there. Just click on the Pittsburgh city. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter, Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project. And we're looking for all sorts of people. Like, even if you don't have a team of filmmakers, if you don't have a crew already, but you have a camera or you have an idea, or like you can write or you can do some stuff, we're also having a Crew Connect on June 30th at GPAC downtown Pittsburgh. Go to the Pittsburgh 48-Hour Film Project Facebook page. All the information is there. We want to get everybody involved. If you've got a camera, you know how to write, you know how to do makeup, you want to make food for the crew, you can do costuming, you can act, you're awesome with lighting, you can mix the hell of a sound system or, whatever, sound, text, and whatnot. Just whatever. Anything involved in making a film, more than likely somebody needs you and wants to connect with you. So be in the loop. Make sure you know what's going on. This week for episode 50 of the Rugged Angel Cast, I have special guest Akirah Robinson, who is a writer, a breakup coach, and a therapist. She wrote a book called Respected, How One Word Can Change More Than Just Your Love Life. And it is so very much true. This woman is just extremely delightful. She's very intelligent, and I feel like if you have ever had any sort of problem in any sort of relationship whatsoever, you walked away from a bad situation and you were left kind of feeling like less than, or that it was something that you did wrong, you should absolutely go check out her website, AkirahRobinson.com, AKIRAH Robinson. And, she is very insightful, and, a lot of the stuff she knows firsthand. So we'll get into all of that in this episode. So make sure to listen, take some notes, and go visit her website and just tell her hi. Or, if you feel like you need help leaving a terrible situation, or if you have already left the situation, you just need to try to figure out who you are without that person. Sometimes the best revenge is to smile and move on. Unless, of course, you are Sansa Stark and you revenge and then smile and move on. Hey, Akirah Robinson, welcome to the Rugged Angel Cast. You are Rugged Angel number 50.
Ah, that's awesome. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I am super excited to talk to you and get to know you a little bit and find out who you are and where you come from and stuff. How's your day going so far?
Well, this is interesting. I actually started my day off by watching The Color Purple.
Started the day off Saturday watching The Color Purple.
My husband was like, "Why are you doing that?"
Like, why are you doing this to yourself? What's happening?
And it was really awful. But I mean,
were there tears? I mean, did you need to let loose of something?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, first 5 minutes I'm crying. But I mean, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but lots of pain, heartache. But the ending, I think, was worth it for me.
Yeah,
so.
It's a very emotional movie.
Yes.
And it's been because of that, it's been a very, very long time since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's the thing. I know that I saw it when I was a kid, which I probably shouldn't have. I love you, Mom and Dad, but that was probably not the best decision. But I didn't remember anything. So I'm like, oh, I should watch it. And so last weekend was the Tony Awards, and I watched that with my husband, and they were nominated for 2 awards. And the woman who played Celie, she performed, and her performance was amazing.
Really?
I've been listening to this song that she sang, and I didn't know the story too much because, like I said, it's been so many years. But I just was like, man, I think I need to rewatch this movie. So I woke up this morning and I've been putting it off all week because I'm like, this is going to be really a lot. But I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm going to do it. So I did it. I started my weekend off by watching The Color Purple.
All right, well, you seem to be okay.
I have survived.
You've bounced back.
It
seems like you've done very well for yourself, so congratulations for surviving that.
Thank you.
So are you from Pittsburgh originally?
So practically. I was born in Texas, Austin, Texas. I lived there the first 7 years of my life.
I love Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there, in so long, so I don't really know what it's like now. But yeah, I lived there for a bit. I was young. I don't really remember. Right. And then my parents moved us to right outside D.C. In Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland. I lived there for a handful of years, and then we moved to outside of Pittsburgh, Oakdale, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yeah, out
Metropolis.
out towards Robinson. Right. So, but when I lived there, when we first started living there, it looked nothing like what Robinson looks now.
It's not the mall and stuff wasn't built yet, right?
No, not until I was in high school, I think. Okay. So it was cow country.
Wow.
And so I lived outside of D.C., and it was a very diverse area. Yeah. I went to school with kids who looked like me, who didn't look like me. It was really awesome in that regard. And so I remember my first day of school, like asking my parents, like, are there going to be other black kids there? And
about how old were you when you got to Oakdale?
I was in fourth grade. Okay. Yeah, so 9, I think. And my parents were like, we don't know. I'm like, I
haven't seen one yet. I don't know.
I think you're lying. And so we walked in. We walked in. We actually dropped my brother off first in his school. And there was like this huge Indians, West Allegheny Indians. So there's this like Native American mascot. And even at that age, like growing up outside of DC, like my dad was very much so against like the Washington Redskins. We weren't allowed to call them the Redskins. We called them Washington. Okay. And so even at 9, I was like, oh my goodness, like where are we at? This is horrible. These people are so racially insensitive. And that was kind of the moment I knew that things were really going to be different. For me, like my upbringing. So yeah, was raised out there, and in hindsight, I understand why my parents did it. It was very safe. The school district was, really good, lots of opportunities in that regard. Yeah, but now I live in the city.
So you were basically out there until like college, or did you?
Yeah. So I went to college. I went to college in an area that's a little similar to where I grew up, but it was a Christian college, which is what I really wanted. I wanted to go to a Christian school. So I did that for 4 years. I worked in the summers on the north side of Pittsburgh at an organization called the Pittsburgh Project.
Okay.
If you know, like Salim Gabriel, he's the executive director of the Pittsburgh Promise.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's the founding executive director of the Pittsburgh Project.
Okay.
So I worked there a couple of summers in college, really fell in love with the city, urban ministry, being with people and community and
So is that one of the things that kind of got you on the path of you're a social worker?
I am. I think so. Yeah, because I didn't know that I was going to be a social worker when I was in college. I majored in communication.
Okay.
And I double minored in counseling and sociology.
Oh, wow.
So it took me a couple years after I graduated to realize if those three things had a baby, that baby would be social work.
Absolutely.
So, and kind of looking back, I'm like, my time at the Pittsburgh Project, like, revealed to me how much I love people. I love community. I hate oppression. I love justice. And so, I went to grad school and got on my way with social work.
And so how long have you been out of school? I don't.
Grad school grad school. I graduated in 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3 years.
Oh, so you're just like freshly just out there.
Yeah. It feels like so long ago.
It's like, what's
I'm like, every time I'm on Pitt's campus, because I actually work in Oakland. Okay. It just feels like forever that I was doing that, but I guess it wasn't. Only 3 years.
God, it must still. I mean, it's got to feel like a weight lifted off you just to be finally done with school. Just to be done with school.
Yes, I sometimes contemplate going back.
Oh my goodness,
I know.
You people that decide to do that, like, I commend you. For even letting the thought entertain your brain, because I just know me. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Yeah. It's like, it was a blessing that I got through, when I hadn't graduated college when I did, that's it. Yeah. But what would you go back for?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm really passionate about a couple different topics. So, having an opportunity to study anything in regards to healthy relationships. There's a program about domestic violence that I was really interested in. Women, Black people, anything. I like women and I like Black people a lot. I love everybody, but in terms of like really digging deep and learning some stuff, I feel like there's some stuff there that I would be really passionate about. I'm really passionate about kind of eliminating that stigma that exists among the Black community in regards to mental health treatment.
Yes.
So
that is something. You mean, are you speaking of like in regards to where it's kind of taboo for us to seek out professional? Yeah. And I think that's a really important topic something to shine a light on, because firsthand, I have our family was basically like that, but like the last 4 years or so, I've been in therapy, and it's just been like a tremendous help. And it's not for like any particular problem per se, but it's very helpful to kind of to put focus onto like things that are coming up in my brain. Just a lot of times you get that impartial feedback, and it's not always a friend that's like, you're right, you're not crazy, that's fine, but it's like sometimes I get I feel some kind of way. It's like I have to talk to her like, okay, this is happening.
Is it me?
Is it me?
I mean, in that regard, for sure, I feel like Black folks as a community, we are very traumatized. Generally speaking, obviously we all carry our specific traumas that we're carrying around, and that sucks. But as a community, historically, we've been so traumatized, and I believe we carry that in our bodies, and it's so damaging. And you see it, like I see it and the way people act, I'm like, oh, that's
Right.
That's trauma, you know?
Right. It is. You feel less than, or you behave as such at times too. And it is very daunting. And it's sad that, that we don't feel like either we're worthy enough to go ahead and get the help that's necessary, or it's just, that's a white people thing. I don't do that. I don't pay to talk to somebody.
I'm not going to talk to somebody about my business.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to let somebody.
Family.
Exactly.
Yep. So even like watching a movie like The Color Purple, which is like, gut wrenching, it kind of reminds me of, this passion that I have to help people who, historically have gone through the things that Celie went through in that movie and in that book. So, I don't know. It's
been something that's, it's scientifically documented. I keep coming across these studies that, it's in our DNA still, just like slavery and oppression just upon, and it goes not even just blacks, but, anybody who has dealt with some sort of any people that have had a significant trauma in their life. You can carry that.
It changes you biologically.
Exactly. It goes along and carries off to your offspring, your children and their children. So I know you wrote a book.
I did.
Respected. How one word can change your life.
Yes. Oh, how one word can change more than just your love life.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No worries. That's why I'm here, right?
Exactly. What prompted
this? Why did I write this book? So I wrote this book because, so giving a little background, when I was in college and in my early 20s, like right after I graduated from college, I was in a relationship that was not that awesome. And it took me a really long time to muster up the courage to leave that relationship. And after the relationship, I just felt so alone and broken, worthless, really, really struggled. And a lot of my girlfriends at that time were getting married, which is kind of funny because we were like 23.
Wow.
But I went to a Christian college. So that happens. And so I felt even more alone being like newly single, being black, all my friends are getting married. And this was around the time, 25, 26. So I broke up with him when I was 24, 25. And around that time, there's this thing happening, these studies and all this attention on black women not getting married. I don't know if you remember that, but
I think I do. Yeah, there was a big thing.
They were having people talk about it on the news, and Steve Harvey is oh, black women don't get married because of this. So of course it's instilling all this fear in me.
Right.
So long story short, I'm reading everything that I can to figure out how do I fix myself so that I can get married? It's a really, really sad season of my life.
Yeah. To feel like you need to fix something about yourself per se for someone else to want you.
Yeah, it was awful. So I was reading all these really damaging, books with damaging messages, and obviously nothing was helping because there's nothing really wrong with me any more than the average person. So went through my own process of self-discovery and things are cool. I'm fine. I can love myself as is. I don't need a relationship to fulfill me and validate me. I would like one, but I don't need to, adjust myself to make that happen.
And that's a real important part of realizing and trying to find a relationship or something to know that you don't need one.
I don't need one.
That's very important.
I want you, but I don't need you. But I really want you.
Right.
So went through that whole process, many, many years, some counseling involved, went to a support group for other women who went through domestic violence. And years later, I decided to write the book that I probably should have read instead. So that's what I did.
Well, that's amazing. So just kind of a quick breakdown of what the book kind of, just a couple of highlights of.
Yeah. So, the book is kind of broken out into 3 sections. Loving yourself, loving someone else. And then the last section, I have a handful of women who've kind of written their personal stories of, how did I learn to love myself and value respect for myself and within my relationship if I'm in one. Okay. So it was really cool to like be able to break it down in those 3 ways, and just focusing on that word of respect and having respect for yourself.
That's amazing.
And being able to respect someone else when you're with them.
That's awesome. That's really great.
Thanks.
That you have written this. Have you written any other ones yet? Or
so I'm working on a project currently. It is, I'm slowly working on it, trying to decide next steps for it. Mm-hmm. But it is a book for women who have recently gone through a breakup. Okay. And so it's kind of like 30 very, very, very short chapters because it's supposed to be like a page and a half read once a day. Okay. And it gives you a word for that day. Nice. And how that word pertains to healing. Okay. And there's like a short activity to do with the word. And so, I'm working on that. It's done. I mean, it's already done. I just am figuring out what I want to do with the content.
So what is your writing process like? Like what is, do you need certain things or ambiance or?
I don't know.
Smells that help get you.
Usually I just, writing lately has been a struggle for me. But sometimes I just get the feeling to do it and I do it. I'm not someone who needs to write in a special corner with certain lighting or anything like that. I find usually I just end up writing something on my couch and, do it, maybe go back to it the next day, see if it still makes sense. And then I keep it if it does and I throw it out if it doesn't. For me, writing is more so just like you need to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the case for a lot of writers. Yeah. It's just like you have to. You got to do it. Yeah. And last summer, like I was doing a lot more freelancing, so that's what it was just like I have a deadline. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like doing this, but I'm going to do it. Right. And oftentimes the times when I didn't feel like doing it, and I just did it anyway. Like when I was done, I felt so good. Okay. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that, and I didn't feel like doing it, but I still could do it. It really shows you what we're capable of, you know? Yeah,
especially, a lot of people, a lot of creatives anyway, we get this, if I'm not in the right mood, it's not going to be any good. If I don't feel like doing it, it's not going to happen. And we have to push ourselves over that hump. Yes. Like, you need to do this. Like, whether you feel like it or not, just do something, write something, draw something, record, play something that's just make it happen.
And generally, I am really surprised by myself. Yeah. Like, wow, this sounds a lot better than I thought. Or I'll look back on it. Thing. I'm like, wow, I'm good at writing. Okay. So it's that's what it is for me. Right now I'm not doing a lot of writing because I've been working on editing. Okay. So just kind of like reading through and tweaking things. But once this project that I'm on currently is done, I already have in mind what I would want to work on next. Cool. I really would like to write about marriage. Oh. So
how long have you been married?
It will be 4 years in September.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, 4 years. Sorry, husband. No, 4 years in September. So for me, it would not be like, I am in no way qualified to give marriage advice.
No, but I think that's a sweet spot. Like the first 5 years of marriage. Yeah. There's a lot to deal with. Yes. Like you are, like I just celebrated my 6-year anniversary. Yay. And those first 5 years, like I love my husband, but there is still a lot of there's just knowing each other. Yeah. figuring out how to make a life with another person.
Yes.
And I think that's like, that was the biggest challenge. So like, you know, a lot of people don't understand, like they feel that there's troubles, you know, when those first 5 years, it's never like, oh my God, it's all cotton candy and unicorns. No, it's not going to be like that. It doesn't mean that you don't love each other. It just means that you got a lot to deal with, like,
and a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And my husband and I, we've actually had like a lot of like situational challenges with health and business and deaths and just a lot of stuff that we've had to kind of face together. And I think him and I were both really independent people. Like, you know, he's 10 years older than me. So
really?
When we got married, I was 27, he was 37. So obviously, like, he's set in his ways.
Right.
And
that's like another
mean,
girl in
that
itself, kind of like.
I mean that in a nice way.
Right. No.
But like he's a grown man, and me, like, I'm the independent Black woman, right? And so coming together and like forming this like sense of, we call it we-ness. You know, that's been a struggle for us. It's been a big struggle for us. But
kind of similar to what my husband is. He's only a couple years older than me, but he was like, I want to say 38, 36 when we got married.
Okay.
36, 37. So he was just like bachelor all his life, you know, kind of thing, and not used to having someone at home worried about your whereabouts and where you're going and what you're doing and what's happening, and you can't just like peace out and not tell anybody.
I'm here.
Like,
like,
no. So that was like just one of the things. It's like, okay, you need to learn.
Team.
Yes, we got together, friend.
Yes. No, it's hard. It's so hard. So I want to write about some of that stuff because I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on the wedding. There's like all these websites about, you know, the perfect colors and the perfect dress. And you know, I had a really small wedding. I wore a cotton dress. I don't really care about that stuff.
Right. It's supposed to be about the marriage, not the wedding.
Yeah, but I find there's kind of a lack of I don't want to say resources, because I don't know. Maybe there are healthy resources. I'm not sure, but just like space to kind of process this thing that you're going through.
Right.
So I would like to speak with other women and kind of hear about their experiences transitioning into this season of life called marriage, and kind of navigating it with their partner and figuring out, you know, something that works for the both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys don't have any children yet?
No, we do not. We have a pup child.
A fur baby.
Yes. He is our baby. Like, he's literally my son. Yeah,
it's such a weird thing. Like because like we got the dog like right before we got married, the first dog, Professor, and it was just like, oh, you know, he's cute, he's adorable, I love it stuff. But like after the first night, I love this dog. This is my baby.
And they love you so much. It's like, oh my gosh, I could do no wrong.
Right.
I could do no wrong.
It's like, you're the sweetest bamboozle. I love you. Oh my God.
Like, I will accidentally step on him because he's like right up my butt, you know, and I accidentally step on him. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And he like whimpers. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, oh, I love you. It's like, okay. I forget.
What happened?
Like, it hurt really bad, but I don't even remember because all I can think of is the love that I have for you.
Exactly. It cracks me up.
I love it. So yes, fur baby is what we have currently, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, I'm going to just kind of, at this point, I feel like for so much of my life, I've been very goal driven and just like working on the next thing. And I mean, I think that's kind of how we're socialized in our culture. So at this point, I'm kind of like, maybe I need to just chill. And
yeah, that seems like that's been like a real big turn. And I don't know if it's just our generation or whatever, but it's like, you know, there are a lot of people that are waiting longer to get married, and you know, also longer to have children. And you know, it's just a lot of focus and like so many people, and I don't know if it's just the people in my circle or like that I surround myself with, that everyone's got, you know, their job, but there's also a side hustle. There's also something else that we know, we want, something, that passion, that what we really want, which is great.
Yeah.
It's nice to I just don't want to be so focused on doing something that I miss.
Yeah.
Life.
I need to get to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then you have the next thing and you're just like, oh,
what's next?
Yeah. What's the
Now
next
what?
thing? And I that is something that I struggle with. So, yeah, I'm just trying to let myself be grateful.
Yeah, man. Just kind of like soak it in, like
Yep.
what you've accomplished
Yep.
thus far. On your website, it says you are also a breakup
I am coach.
coach.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, in my day job, I work as a therapist, and for me, the side hustle that you speak of, in addition to freelancing, I also work with women who are going through breakups.
Wow.
That's why I wrote my second book about breakups. So yeah, majority of the clients that I work with now, I work with them via email. Just kind of offering accountability and feedback. They're going through really tough time and feeling really lonely and, oh my gosh, I really want to text my ex. Should I do it? And I'm like, no, don't do it.
So it's almost kind of like, I guess, like an AA kind of situation.
Sure.
Like you're almost like a sponsor.
Yeah,
like
yes.
Like,
yes.
you know, you're offering words and thoughts of encouragement
Yep.
as well as like, you know, helpful tips and,
Yep.
you know, no, do not call them.
Don't do it.
Don't text.
And also I challenge, you know, each of my clients to kind of come up with a handful of goals that they want to work on. 'Cause, I feel like a transition like a breakup can be an amazing time to, I don't want to say redefine yourself unless you're in need of that, but just to kind of, have newfound discovery of who you are and who you want to be. And,
Right.
I always say, like, when I ended this really awful relationship, however many years ago that was, 6 years ago, that first year I moved into an apartment by myself, lived alone for the first time. I got promoted at work. I started grad school. I trained and I ran for a 10K. I traveled across the country, went to Vegas and California by myself.
Oh, wow.
Met up with some friends there, like all these things that I had never done before because I was so concerned about this relationship and what do I need to do to fix this relationship and what do I need to do, and he doesn't want me to do this and he doesn't want me to do that, and never really had time to kind of dream big and think about what I wanted my life to look like. But then, you know, I had all this extra space and energy, and I was able to just do all these things within a year, right? And the first, you know, that 4 years I was with him, like, didn't do a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I always say that because I feel like at that point people feel so lost and they feel hopeless and they're like, what next? And I want people to know, I want women to know, like, so much can be next. First, you have to grieve.
Right.
Right. We're not going to rush through that. Like,
Right.
you should be sad. It makes sense to be sad. It's understandable. Let's be sad. But let's also think about what you want your life to look like. So that if you choose to date in the future, you'll be a more stable person, happier, healthier, more experiences. Yeah. So that's what I try to do.
That's awesome. What haven't you done yet that you really want to do?
Well, I do want to have a baby. I want to travel overseas or just really, really far with my husband. My husband, he owns a restaurant, which is very time-consuming, daunting, exhausting profession. Because he's also the chef.
Oh.
So
would you like to shout out the restaurant?
Oh, yeah. Kaleidoscope Cafe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I have not been there yet. That's in Lawrenceville?
Lawrenceville on 43rd Street.
Nice.
If you drive down 43rd Street, you cannot miss it because there are two huge murals on two sides of the building. The guy who painted it, Ryder Henry, he painted these murals not even using like a straight edge or like a stencil or anything. He just free-handed these beautiful murals on our building. So yeah, I would like to travel with him. My husband, actually, before we got married, he traveled to 26 countries, just like sold 2 of his previous restaurants and used the money to do that. And so he's a adventurous guy.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of adventurous. So we've been talking about where we could possibly go, and he's like, oh, let's go to Peru. And I'm like, let's go to Sandals. So obviously we have to find some compromise into 2 of those. So we've talked about going to San Francisco, actually, and hiking through the redwoods, which I think would be perfect for the 2 of us. So I really, really want to do that. Goodness, what else do I want to do? I think at some point I do want to have my own private practice, doing therapy with folks. But, I'm not in any rush to get out of my current job and do that.
Yeah, you totally have time for that.
Yeah.
You're very young still.
Yep.
You have time, plenty of time.
But that is something that I would like to do. And also, one last thing. My husband and I, we talk about opening a bed and breakfast somewhere.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Just like a cute little place somewhere by the water, and he can make breakfast and I can make sure the bills are paid.
Right.
And so we'll see. At some point when we're older, I think that would be really good for us.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that Akirah is okay? What is your self-care routine?
Yeah. So I feel so grateful because I feel like I'm really, really good at self-care.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really good at it. That's not me bragging. I am. Maybe I'm a little selfish.
Go ahead. Be braggadocious.
Yes,
You must.
I'm really good at it. It's not something that I really struggle with currently. That's not to say that it couldn't in the future. And I think because a lot of my friends are like new moms and I see what they go through, I want this season of my life to be all about like gratitude for the space I have.
Okay.
That, Wednesday night I came home from work. I didn't feel very well, so I took a nap. Like, woke up, I felt a little better, went to bed early, woke up Thursday, felt much better. So I'm in this habit of just asking myself, what do I need? Like, I need to go for a walk right now. I need to spend time with my dog. I need to watch The Color Purple.
Right.
Like, I go to the library. I eat out by myself a lot. I spend a lot of time alone just because my husband's job is so busy and our schedules are a little opposite. So I do spend a lot of time by myself. I go to the movies by myself. Church is a big thing for me. Making sure that I'm doing that regularly. Something else that I've been doing that I love doing is I go see my parents a lot.
Do they still live nearby?
They live in Beaver County, so they're about 45 minutes away. And I see them at least 2-3 times a month, which, for as an adult, like I feel like that's a lot.
Especially since they don't live like across the street.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like everybody loves Raymond or anything. Right. But for me, like just driving up there, spending a few hours with them, it brings me such joy. I am grateful to be really close with my parents as an adult woman.
Yeah. That's a blessing.
Yeah. I know some people don't have that. So I feel really grateful. And it's just so home. Like I just go, we hang out. Like we talk.
There's something so comforting, even if it's not the house that you grew up in.
Yes.
Like my mom lives in Atlanta, but when I go to visit her, it's just like I get there and I just immediately, it's like I just want to lay my head on her lap and take a nap.
Yep. And you're just chilling.
Right.
And it's like I don't live here, but I live here.
Like we don't have to do anything. Like we just sit here and just talk, and you rub my hair.
Yeah. And my mom, she'll like make me what I want to eat, which is really nice. And my dad, we just talk. And I think what's really cool is like I'm actually seeing my parents continue to grow. Oh, that's wonderful. And learn. And I think like we have this thing where we think that like older folks, not that my parents are that old, but like, people get, rigid and they're not able to learn. Right. And like, I had a conversation with my dad about, transgender folks. And at the beginning of the conversation, he's like, oh my goodness. But like by the end, like I think there was some actual understanding and connection, and like
that's great
to see him like have compassion,
right,
and just be like, okay.
So it wasn't just like, nope, I don't believe in it.
Not
I don't want to hear about it.
Not at all. Not at all. So open and able to do that, and not even just stuff like that, but like themselves, and like being able to kind of reminisce and be like, oh, like the decisions that you guys made as parents, like some of them were really great and some of them caused me to struggle, and here's how, and can you just listen and accept that and not get defensive?
That's fantastic.
And they have been able to do that. They're just like, never thought of it that way.
That is, oh my God.
Yes.
You're probably the 1%.
Well, they're just, I think it's credit to them and how amazing they are, but also just like our relationship, and like there's some safety there. And they know like I love you, and this isn't, because also I'm at a place where like I'm not bitter, you know, so like I can just present
really
something.
blame.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, you made this decision and it affected me in this way.
Right.
Okay.
Just want to let you know.
Yeah, and because you can handle it, and I love you. So can I have some fried fish now? My mom makes the best fried fish.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. We are back, and now it's time for the segment I like to call Questionable Conversation, where I just ask you some random questions. They don't need to be rapid fire, but here we go. What album can you listen to from beginning to end?
Oh, goodness. Oh, yes. It's called Wild Hope by Mandy Moore. So Mandy Moore's like this pop, girl from, the early 2000s. But she has this one album that is an absolute gem.
Really?
Yes. And it's not poppy. There's this music group called the Weepies, and they helped her kind of.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and so this was the music, or was the CD that I listened to as I went through my breakup, and it's beautiful. Huh. It's not pop, I promise. Okay. It's not your average man anymore.
Okay,
it's good.
Are you usually late, early, or right on time?
Oh goodness, late.
Really? You were right on time today.
I was early today, but that is not typical at all.
Well, thanks. Your favorite word?
My favorite word? Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite word. Probably maybe my dog's name, Walker. It's probably the word I at least say the most.
Walker?
Walker, yeah.
Is it like Walker?
Walker, like Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Walker, yeah.
Is that his full name?
Walker? No. His full name is actually Walker Lamont Robinson, but we call him Walker. I call him Walker Baby Boy Lamont Robinson. So, yeah.
Our dog Albert, his full name is Albert Einstein.
Aww.
And professor is Professor Moriarty. Aww. But when I get mad at Albert, he's Albert Josephine Einstein. I don't know why.
Josephine and Lamont. Right. Like, where did we come up with this?
No idea. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What was your first job?
Babysitting. It was always the neighborhood babysitter.
Nice. Favorite song to sing?
I don't know if I have a favorite. Favorite song to sing? Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite. Maybe one that I enjoy singing. I don't know if it's really the favorite, but I sang it at my grandmother's funeral, His Eyes on the Sparrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Nope. I would be, the whole thing with zombies, and I'm not up on the whole zombie stuff, but my husband, he watches The Walking Dead, and what I gather is that you get caught and then you become one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at this point, they're all infected, and if you die, you'll come back as one, or you get bit. If you die, basically, is it. You die, you come back as a zombie unless somebody pops you in the head.
Okay. So I would be... I would become one probably, and then I would be one of the ones coming after you. Because I don't think I have the wherewithal within me to
keep fighting them off.
No,
and,
it looks
surviving.
like a lot of energy, and it's exhausting to watch.
Sometimes I think about that, when I see them, they get swarmed, and they're just I'm like. Oh,
every time I watch my husband watching the show, I'm like, they're still doing this. I would just give up.
At what point are you just like, enough?
Like, I'm done. I'm good. Whatever.
I'm tapping out now.
Brains don't sound that bad.
Do you know any jokes?
I do.
Ooh.
This is, I'm not even gonna preface it.
Okay.
What did the fish say when he swam into the wall?
What?
Damn.
I love this question because I always get the most ridiculous jokes.
Yep. And I grew up in a really conservative household, so that was like the one joke that I could say where I was allowed to cuss,
like,
right?
Let me tell you a joke.
I said the D-word.
What is your favorite part of the human face?
The human face?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the smile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you talk to yourself?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Can you drive a stick?
No. I would like to, but I cannot.
Who was your first crush, either celebrity or in real life?
Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Can you do any accents?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay. Do you remember your dreams?
Sometimes.
Outside of your family, who is your oldest friend?
Outside of my family, who's my oldest friend? Probably my friend Stormy.
Stormy.
Yeah.
Is that a nickname or?
No, that's her real name. Stormy and Akirah. She was my best friend in middle and high school. College. We kind of had a falling out, but now we're friends again, which is awesome. Nice. And I've known her for a really long time. I think she's the oldest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I also have a friend named Storm, by the way.
Like
her real name. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
So, this is ridiculous. I have a fear. I would either like cure diseases, which would probably be like the better one to do. But I have a fear of vomit. And so, this is weird.
Are you a sympathetic puker? Like, if you see vomit, will you?
No. My whole thing is I'm scared that I'm going to get sick.
Okay.
So I've always told myself, I've never told anyone this, so this is embarrassing. But I would like a superpower where I could see who has like a stomach virus so that I would stay away from them, and also being able to see food to know if it would give me food poisoning. So I would have like vomit radar.
Right.
And I would know like, don't go near that person, because I'm on the bus and I'm like, they don't look good. And so I like literally got up because on Thursday, because I saw this woman, I'm like, oh, you don't look good. I'm gonna get up. I don't know if you're gonna get me sick. It's so embarrassing.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
that is an extremely original superpower.
Yeah, I know.
But you're right. Curing diseases is probably would be the better option.
Because if I had that one and I got the stomach, like, I would just be able to cure myself. So maybe I'll just get that one instead.
Have you ever solved a Rubik's Cube?
No.
You never get tired of blank.
I never get tired of... I don't think I ever get tired of my dog.
No.
I love him. Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
And describe yourself in one word.
One word. I know that. Well, you didn't say rapid fire, so I can think.
Yeah.
Describe myself in one word. I like the word. I don't know. I like the word compassionate.
That is a good word.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap, Akirah.
Oh my goodness, that was great.
It was. Where can people find you online and stuff?
Yeah, so my website, AkirahRobinson.com, AKIRAH. Don't forget the H. In there, you would be able to find links to all my stuff. Okay. So I'm on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So
awesome! Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, I had a good time.
Yep.
And as always, guys, you can check me out at RuggedAngel.com and on Twitter at @the_RuggedAngel. Remember, whatever you do, do it with passion or not at all.